for this quite important, I think, and insightful webinar on ethics and moral attitudes in the workplace. My name is Monica, and I will be your host for today's session. So we are thrilled to have you with us as we explore essential ethical concepts and how they apply to our daily professional lives. Our aim is not only to understand the basis of ethics and moral attitudes with the professional workplace and professional daily relationships. So, but also see the ways how it positively impacts our daily work life. Okay, so maybe first of all, I would like to mention that and this webinar is organized by CFE CERT, which is an independent auditing company accredited by UCAS and IS, which operates in many different countries. CFE CERT is also a member of British Education Accreditation Authority, CPD, Certificate Service. We also have association of the British certification bodies and the Corporate Risk Management Association. So wherever you're based, we are happy to welcome you to learn more about CFR certification. I can assure you that we have very nice team of tutors, very professional and very experienced, to join our certification journeys, let's say. Okay. So let's start our webinar, which will take 1 hour. After 1 hour, I think we can have a short session, Q&As, so questions and answers. You can answer the questions through the Zoom chat, I think, and we're also on YouTube, so you're all welcome to have your questions written into YouTube. I'll be happy to have a small conversation. However, I know that 1 hour is perhaps not enough to cover all the points on the ethics and moral within the institutions, organizations. Therefore, I would like to encourage you and check our website for more information, more certifications. At the end of the webinar, we will also share link, which please fill in. So we will have a small surprise like certification of joining this webinar. This is not an accredited certification. However, it is nice to have this kind of certification in your portfolio. Okay, so I think we can start now. Let me just move this one here. I will turn off my camera to make sure that we are all okay. Now, let's start. So as I said, welcome to our webinar. My name is Monica. I have been working with CFE CERT for quite a time, and I will have a pleasure today to talk about the ethics and the moral subjects, topics within our workplace. So let's start from the beginning, and before we dive into the topics, let me give you a quick importance information of the ethics in the workplace. So why it is so important. Ethics, I think, play a vital role in our building trust, creating a positive work culture, and improving productivity. So let's explore how ethical behavior impact our organizations. So first of all, this is a building trust and reputation. So ethical behavior is a crucial for building trust among employees, among clients, and of course the stakeholders. So strong ethical foundations enhance a company's reputations and foster a positive relationships with all the parties. Secondly, enhancing productivity and efficiency. So when we employees operate within an ethical framework, we are more likely to work collaboratively and productively. Ethical practices reduce conflicts between us colleagues within the work and create, I think, a more efficient and harmonious work environment. And of course, ethics, it promotes a positive work culture. So ethical workplace foster a culture of respect, fairness, and of course, accountability. It promotes transparency, integrity, create a positive and supportive environment where we feel good, where we feel valued and motivated to work. So what are the key ethical concepts and principles? So we have ethical frameworks which provide a foundation for the ethical decision-making within the company. They offer a set of principles, values, and guidelines to help individuals navigate ethical dilemmas. Popular frameworks, we'll talk a bit more about them, but the popular frameworks includes utilitarianism, deontology, and virtue ethics. The core ethical principles we can mention serve as universal guidelines within the company. Those principles include honesty, integrity, fairness, respect, and responsibility. They guide individuals in making ethical decisions and promote a positive work environment. So here we will explore these three major ethical theories, which I mentioned on the previous slide, and how they apply to everyday workplace decisions. So utilitarianism maximizes overall happiness within the workplace. Overall happiness, weighting, benefits, and consequences of actions. The second one, deontology, focuses more on moral rules and principles, emphasizing duty and rightness of decisions. And the third one, important, which is virtue ethics, emphasize character development and the cultivation of moral virtues. So those theories provide the framework for understanding and help to navigate ethical challenges on daily basis within your work place. So what we can identify as ethical dilemmas in the workplace. It can be conflict of interest, of course. I'm sure that many of you had this kind of dilemmas in your professional life. So employees may face some situations which where personal interest conflict with the professional responsibilities face. This can arise from accepting, for example, gifts or favors, engaging in insider trading, or pursuing opportunities that could compromise their objectivity. I'm sorry. Secondly, confidentiality and data privacy. I think employees often handle confidential information. For example, in some financial institutions, like in some trading companies, in hospitals. So this can be customer data, trade secrets, or some other sensitive financial records. So maintaining confidentiality and ensuring data privacy is crucial to protect organization and its stakeholders. Another dilemma could be discrimination and harassment. I hope no one has ever faced this one, but this is one of the common ethical dilemma. So creating a fair and inclusive workplace is essential. Employees must be aware of and avoid discriminatory practices, including bias in hiring, promotions, or treatment of colleagues based on factors like race, gender, or religion. And the fourth one, which I have mentioned here, is the ethical use of technology. In modern world, we have many possibilities, and the world is growing. So new technologies we can face every day. So with the increasing reliance on technology, ethical considerations may arise regarding its use. So this includes issues related to cybersecurity, data privacy, and responsible use of social media in the workplace. So what can be the strategy for recognizing and addressing ethical issues? We have like three strategies, let's call it. Ethical issues can be arise in many situations, from a personal decisions to complex organizational challenges. Recognizing these issues is the very first step towards addressing them effectively. So it involves the understanding the values at play, identifying potential conflicts of interest, and considering the consequences of different actions. So awareness, communication, and collaboration. Addressing ethical issues involves taking proactive steps to mitigate and promote ethical behavior. This might involve implementing policies in your workplace, providing training programs organized by your HR departments or departments responsible for those programs, and also fostering a culture of integrity where employees feel empowered to raise their concerns. Culture of integrity is a vital part for every organization, especially in the workplace, of course. It fosters trust, transparency, and ethical decision making, which is leading to positive, I think, positive outcome for all which are involved. This culture is not just about rules and regulations, but also creating understanding of what is actually right and wrong, and it's encouraging individuals to act accordingly. So building a culture of integrity requires from everyone commitment. This includes all the levels of organization, and it comes from the leaders, which are in every organization, I think, a model of the ethical behavior, which communicate values clearly to everyone within the organization and provide training as well as support for all the employees. So here, this includes also establishing clear ethical guidelines, providing mechanism for reporting misconducts, and celebrating, of course, the ethical behavior within organization. So let's have a close look into the role of leadership in promoting ethical practices. So leaders play a pivotal role in setting the ethical tone in an organization, in the workplace. So we will have a look and talk about how leadership can guide and shape the ethical practices in the workplace. So first of all, we have to set the tone. So leaders, which are crucial in shaping in shaping a company's ethical culture. Everything comes in this matter from leaders. So their actions, their decisions are constantly observed by employees. I think we all do this. We always observe our leaders, how they act, how they behave, and somehow we define the organizational culture from the leaders. So by consistently demonstrating ethical behavior and values, leaders create a strong foundation for ethical practices within our workplaces. Secondly, clear expectations, which we want to hear and we know how to follow. So leader must communicate clear ethical expectations and guidelines. So they should guide us how and what is expected from us. This includes defining, of course, of ethical principles and policies, as well as establishing a framework for addressing ethical dilemmas. Effective communication helps employees understand what's, as I mentioned, is expected of them and how to navigate in challenging situations which they may find themselves in. And thirdly, I think encouraging open dialogue. So leaders should foster an environment where employees feel comfortable. They feel comfortable to discuss ethical concerns which they might have. So this can involve creating channels for the open dialogue, providing trainings on ethical decision-making processes, and also encouraging feedback on some ethical issues. So what are the steps of decision-making process? I think there are three main steps. First of all, we have to identify the dilemma which we have. So first step is to clearly see to name the ethical dilemma. What are the competing values or principles? Who is involved and how might they be affected by decision? A clear understanding of the situation is essential for the thoughtful and ethical response. So once we identify the dilemma, we know who is involved, we know what is wrong, let's say, simply. Then the second step is to gather information. So once you have identified the dilemma, it's important to gather as much relevant information as possible. So consider all the perspectives. It's important to have a different view and perspective of the dilemma, of the issue problem. Consider all the perspectives, including first policies. Secondly, of course, legal regulations. And third, ethical guidelines. So then, once we have defined those, We know which policies we should follow, which rules we should follow, and what is the guidelines. Let's also consult with other colleagues or supervisors or any other person who we can name ethical advisor to ensure a comprehensive understanding of the dilemma. And thirdly, consider alternatives. So brainstorming is always good, and always communication is the key. This is what I always face within my professional life. So brainstorming different options and their potential consequences is the key. So we have to analyze the ethical implications of each alternative, consider the impact on stakeholders, which is also very crucial, and the organization's reputations should be always considered. Then we evaluate the long-term effects of each decision to ensure that it aligns with the company ethical values. We should also, the world is small, and many of us work with the global workplace, big companies. And I think it's always worth to consider the global workplace from different aspects, the cultural sensitivity, and from the international law and regulation perspective. I think those two are the most important here. So ethical consideration in a global workplace, it requires understanding and sensitive to diverse cultural norms and values, because we come from different cultures. So here we have to find the right balance for the norms and values. It is crucial, of course, to respect and accommodate different communication styles, different decision-making processes and perspectives. Companies should prioritize inclusive policies and the practice that foster a sense of belonging for every employee. And the second one, international laws and regulations. So operating across borders with various legal frameworks and ethical standards. This is the modern word. So companies should comply with the relevant labor laws, with data privacy regulations, because it might vary from the country to country. Also with the anti-bribery policies, etc. They must also navigate cultural, which you mentioned already, differences in ethical expectations, such as gift-giving practices and business negotiations. I think these gift-giving practices are really, really, it varies from the country to country. In one country, you can give a gift, which is quite normal. In the other one, it's treated as kind of not normative behavior, as well as business negotiations. In some countries, people like to have really extensive and advanced negotiations, while in other countries it's more calm and like smooth way, let's say. So balancing values and policies. Let's move to another slide. I think balancing personal values with organization policies can be challenging. And now let's discuss the three potential points under balancing the values and policies. So respect to alignment. It is important to navigate the intersection of personal values and of course, organization policies that requires a thoughtful approach. It's essential to find areas where both can coexist harmoniously. So it ensures that individuals can uphold their principles while adhering the company guidelines. Secondly, open communication. Open and honest communication is, as I said, also is crucial, is the key in every organization. So for resolving potential conflicts between personal values and company policies, we have to communicate. We have to express our values. We have to also understand the company policies, guidelines, which is expected from us. So I think individuals should feel comfortable discussing their own concerns and exploring potential solutions with their direct supervisors or with HR departments. And collaborative solutions. When discrepancies arise, seeking collaborative solutions is a paramount. Both individuals and organizations should engage in dialogue and strive to find common ground that honors individual values with maintaining the integrity of company policies. So let's move to developing a personal ethical framework and decision-making process. So developing a personal ethical framework involves reflecting on your values and on your beliefs. So we should always ask ourselves, what do I consider to be right and wrong? We all have the scope of values, which we always follow, and beliefs. So we know exactly what we consider that the right thing and the wrong thing. Then what principles are most important to us? So once we have a clear understanding of those values, we can begin to develop our decision-making process, which aligns with our values and beliefs. So first of all, we are identifying values. So here, reflecting on our core principles and values. What matters the most to me in my life? Secondly, develop guiding principles. So formulate rules that embody our values and guide our decision-making process. Thirdly, apply in practice. So practice applying your framework to real-life scenarios and dilemmas. And then continuously improvement, of course, like in every part of our life. So reflect on your decision, adjust your framework as needed, and then learn from your experience. Coming back to the decision-making frameworks, we have mentioned that we have three, which is utilitarianism. So this framework prioritizes actions that maximize overall happiness and minimize the harm. Here, we can consider the consequences of decision for everyone who are involved in the decision-making process. The second way, the second framework philosophy, let's say, is the deontology, which focus more on the moral principles and rules within the organization. So here we are emphasizing the inherent rightness or wrongness of the actions, of our actions, regardless of their consequences. And the third one, which are virtue ethics, This framework emphasized the development of good character traits and habits, which emphasize the role of personal integrity and values in ethical decision-making process. So here I have a few case studies and best practices. I will not mention the companies, but within the few years ago, we had this kind of dilemma, let's say. And I think here within the healthcare environment, utilitarianism is quite a good example. So here we, for example, the vaccine distribution. So here prioritizing vaccine distribution to maximize overall health benefits, minimizing deaths and ensuring resources that are allocated where they will have the greatest positive impact. So here you have to prioritize and make the right way of ensuring that this is allocated in the correct place. Deontology, I think here adhering to principles of protecting users' data and privacy. Yeah, this is also can be under the, let's say, medical part, but also within the financial institutions or banks, protecting, or even e-commerce, protecting users' data and privacy, even if it means compromising on certain goals to uphold fundamental rights. There was an issue with a big company which didn't want to share the data of the users, even to the FBI or CIA. So this is the deontology philosophy. And the third one, virtue ethics. So here, the core is prioritizing moral integrity and the social responsibility. So as core values in the business operations. So here fostering consumer trust and loyalty is the most important. So by aligning with the social well-being. So let's have also different view on, as I mentioned, different industries. So here we have healthcare with the confidentiality, patient rights, and informed consent are the paramount. In finance, conflicts of interest, insider tradings, ethical data handling are crucial for the consideration. In construction, safety regulations, fair labor practice, and environmental responsibility are essential. In the legal industry, maintaining client confidentiality, avoiding conflicts of interest, and upholding professional standards are the key. So let's have a closer look into our own, let's say, day-to-day moral values in decision-making process on our daily basis. So we have personal beliefs, as we mentioned previously, which might align or has to be considered while taking, while making the decision process. What are the values? So values are deeply held beliefs that guide our choices on daily basis within our personal life or professional life. They're often based on our upbringing, culture, and experience. So here I have mentioned three: integrity, honesty, respect, fairness, and compassion. So moral values influence our decision-making process by providing a framework for evaluating options and choosing actions that align with our principles. Let's also have a look at the factors which might influence ethical behavior. So individuals as employees, workers, and organizations are shaped by the personal values, social norms, and organizational environment. Individual values are personal principles and beliefs which guide ethical decision-making. Organizational culture, that company values and leadership influence employees' behavior. Social norms are the expectations and the legal frameworks which shape ethical boundaries. And the situational factors, which might be pressure, which might be incentive, and the context of situation can influence our choices on daily basis. So corporate culture significantly influence ethical behavior. A culture that value integrity and ethical conduct can create a strong foundation for ethical decision making. A culture of ethical behavior can be fostered by the incorporating ethics into policies, procedures, training programs, etc. So it's important to promote transparency, accountability, and open communication regarding ethical issues. So, promoting ethical conduct is crucial for fostering a culture of integrity. This involves establishing clear ethical guidelines, providing regular trainings, creating an environment that encourages ethical behavior. So here we have, first of all, leadership by example. So ethical leaders set the tone for the whole organization, for the whole company. Secondly, code of conduct, which provides clear expectation and guidelines for all employees within the organizations. Then third, ethical training, equipping employees with the knowledge and skills to navigate ethical dilemmas. So employees must be guided how to navigate, how to handle their dilemmas. If they cannot solve by themselves any dilemma, they should also be aware who to seek help from. And then open communication, which is creating a safe space for all employees to raise concerns. So, summarize navigating conflicts of values. As we already mentioned a few times, and I will always mention, open communication. So here, the open dialogue between employees and management is crucial. Everyone should be aware that they have the possibility, they don't have to be worried about the open dialogue and sharing their own concerns. Respect for values. So recognizing and respecting both personal and the organizational values. Ethical decision-making frameworks. So here to utilize structured frameworks to analyze conflicts and reach the ethical solutions. And conflict resolution is implement conflict resolution strategies to address differences constructively. So every employee should be empowered to speak about ethical concerns. They should know, we should know that open communication, so we can raise our concerns without any fear of retaliations. We have the possibility of the anonymous reporting, so providing confidential channels for reporting unethical conduct. And third is ethical training. So every organization equip employees with the knowledge and skills to identify and address ethical dilemmas. I'm not sure if you are aware, there were some changes in the whistleblowing and protection for ethical reporting. So I know within an organization, the employee has the right of reporting such unethical situations. So first, safeguarding reporting. So employees who report misconduct should be protected from the retaliation. Anonymous reporting. So here, confidential channels allow employees to report their concerns without any fear of identification. Independent investigations. Allegations should be investigated objectively and thoroughly. And then clear procedures. Establishing a clear guidelines for reporting, investigation, and disciplinary actions. Culture of integrity and accountability is essential for the ethical decision making. It promotes honesty, promotes fairness, and responsibility in the workplace. This culture encourages open communication, transparency, and ethical conduct. It also fosters a strong sense of trust and accountability among all the employers and stakeholders. So what is the life cycle of integrating ethics into employee life cycle? First of all, the first line is recruitment. So here, ethical considerations should be guide to recruitment process, ensuring fairness, transparency, equal opportunities for all the candidates. Second step is the onboarding. So new hires should be introduced to the company's ethical values and expectations at the beginning. Also, along with the resources and training materials for navigating ethical dilemmas. Third stage would be performance management. So ethical behavior should be incorporated into performance evaluations, acknowledging and rewarding individuals who consistently uphold ethical standards. Then, of course, all the time, training and development. This is the life, the whole life process. So regular training sessions on ethical decision-making, conflicts resolutions, legal compliance should be offered through the employees' careers. And the last one, exit interview. So here we have the final opportunity for employees to share their feedback. I think here are a very crucial, in my opinion, discussions. So to share feedback on the company's ethical culture and to give the feedback and also perhaps offer the some suggestions for improvement within the organizations, which are very important points for every company. The very important role within organization, within company, plays also HR department. I think this is the center where everyone always goes with some dilemmas and considerations. So after leaders, HR department is the place where we always go with the dilemmas considerations. So first of all, setting the tone. HR plays a critical role in establishing a culture within the company and set up priorities of the ethical conduct. Then ethical policies and training. HR develops, implements, and enforces ethical policies and provides comprehensive trainings to all employees. These are generally cycle trainings every few months or every quarter, let's say. So HR is really important, plays a really important role in establishing those policies and trainings. Also communication channels. So HR fosters an open environment where employees can report concerns without any fear. And fourth, HR conducts through investigations, ensure accountability, and maintain a fair workplace environment. So let's summarize and have some practical tips for the ethical awareness. First of all, embrace ethical frameworks. So get yourself familiar with the ethical frameworks like utilitarianism, deontology, or virtue ethics. I think you can also consider having certification, not certification, but we are giving more inputs and information on other courses if you would be interested, so we can have more engaged conversations into details on the ethical frameworks. But you can also have the some research in online world, let's say. Okay, these frameworks provide a structural approach to analyzing ethical dilemmas and making principled decisions. Engaging in ethical reflection. So reflect on your values and how they influence your actions. Regularly consider how your decision impacts others and how you can act with integrity in various life situations. Always seek diverse perspectives. So engage in conversation with colleagues or mentors to gain different perspectives on ethical issues. Challenge yourself, challenge your assumption, and consider the viewpoints of those affected by your actions. And of course, always practice ethical decision-making. So use decision-making models to help you navigate complex dilemmas. So these models can provide a structured process for identifying stakeholders, evaluating options, and making informed choices. Continuous learning and professional development. I think this is very important to have the continuous learning. We learn new things every day, and the professional development also is crucial in our future. So staying updated. The business landscape is constantly evolving, and continuous learning helps us to stay ahead of the curve by acquiring new skills, knowledge. It also empowers us to adapt to changing demands and seize new opportunities. Promoting ethical conduct. Well, ethical principles are not static. They always change on daily, yearly basis. So they evolve with society, with the everyday changing world. Continuous learning helps us to stay informed about the ethics and the best practices. This also helps us to navigate the complex situations and make sound ethical decisions. So, having conclusion and some key takeaways. Enhanced awareness. I think we have touched the basis of the awareness and the values into the complex world of workplace ethics within our lives. We have learn how to foster a culture of integrity and promote ethical behavior, how to build trust and respect within our organizations, how to create a positive work environment where everyone, all employees, feel valued and respected, also maybe motivated, and professional growth. As we mentioned, development is really crucial for our professional life, for ethical awareness, making skills process, and it demonstrates our commitment to responsible conduct and strengthens our reputations as a trustworthy professionals. So building a strong ethical foundation is vital for long-term organization success, and integrity, trust, and ethical practices contribute to a positive work environment, attracting and retaining talent and fostering strong customer relationships. Thank you very much for listening and participating into our webinar. We have, I think, 7 minutes left, so please let me know if you might have some questions. If I will not be able to answer now, for sure, I can assure you that you can always find me and ask questions. We can have also more detailed conversation during our courses or different channels. So feel free to get in touch with us. Oh yes, here we have also, we shared in the chat, I forgot to mention, the link which will help you to fill in information for the certificates. So please have a look, and we'll be happy to issue our webinar certifications. So I think that's all for today. I wish you a great afternoon or wherever your evening, and see you next time.